I'm Maria, and I'm studying to become a life coach specializing in narcissistic abuse and trauma recovery. I hope my videos are helpful, informative, and validating for you. Whether you are presently in a narcissistic abusive relationship, have been, or you have a friend or family member that presently is or has been in a narcissistic abusive relationship, or maybe you have a family member that is a narcissist, or a friend, a boss, a coworker, a roommate. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. Today I'm going to talk to you about trauma responses and how to manage them. If you stick to the end of my video, I will tell you about a way of managing your trauma responses that you probably have never heard of before, and it's very fast and effective. So a trauma response is also known, or better known, as a trigger. A trigger is an external or internal stimulus to a sound, smell, person, place, thought, even taste. It prompts a powerful involuntary emotional or physical response in connection to a post-traumatic event. So I will let you know that I've had great trouble with this video with technology, and I've had to upload it a few times, and well, it has triggered me in a lot of ways. So we hope this time it works out. So I will talk to you about my trauma responses. Some of them are present and some of them are past, meaning that they do not trigger me anymore. So the first one is seeing my former boyfriend's car or a car like his would trigger me 6 months to a year after the breakup. The same with seeing a place that we normally hung out at. 6 months to a year after the breakup. The next one is a present trigger, and that is getting cancellations in my schedule. I like things neat and orderly, and that is to feeling out of control because I was in abusive, controlling relationships. And also I've had financial abuse, and lack of money triggers me. So when I get a cancellation in my schedule with my work, it causes me to have a trigger because I don't get paid for that. Another one was, it's past, is trying to figure out what a person is doing and where they're at, if they're very important to me or I have romantic interest, because I've been cheated on, and well, they sneak around on you. And lastly, it's the one that really triggers me and is present is being ghosted, or waiting for a phone call or message from someone who is important to me, or an important phone call or message does trigger me. And there's other examples I want to give to you about triggers that maybe aren't necessarily mine, but I want to tell you, if yours is not listed here, do not despair, because they're unique to you. And I met a woman that told me that she was triggered by waiting in a waiting room. I don't know why. I don't need to know why, but that was unique to her and her situation. So the first one is meeting new people or initiating conversation, managing finances, being alone, and I had a very abusive relationship, and when I had left that one, I was afraid to be alone for a while, but now I really enjoy being alone. And another one is thinking about an illness or an accident. And especially when you've had trauma that is heightened, or if you've experienced an illness or an accident, or have a friend or family member that has, that can heighten the trigger as well. And the other one is trying new things and making mistakes. And I want to say something about that, making mistakes. When you have been in a narcissistic abusive relationship, they tend to blame shift on you a lot. And over time that wears you down. And you start to believe that you do everything wrong. And I want to tell you, it's okay to make mistakes. We're human, we're imperfect, and it's part of life. And you need to learn to forgive yourself for that. And I know that's easier said than done. So those are some examples. So now I'm going into managing them. Deep breathing is one example. So try to imagine like breathing deep down from your abdomen and breathe, slowly letting it out. And there is something called box breathing, and that is breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, and letting out for 4 seconds, and repeating 4 times. Very effective to calm you down. The next one is mindfulness, being aware of what makes you tick, what's your triggers, and what coping mechanisms and how to manage them helps. Journal it, write it down. So we go into journaling then. And journaling, write your thoughts and feelings down about how you really feel. And then over time you can go back and look and see your improvements. And there is hope. You do improve. So I just want to encourage you with that. The next one is having social networks in place or support networks. And that could be talking to family and friends that you feel safe and comfortable with. Now, I realize some of you don't have that in place. So the journaling is very important. Or finding therapy or group therapy is very helpful. And group therapy is like the secret sauce. It really, really works. I've experienced it. And it's very effective. And if you can't afford it, a lot of times if you show proof of address and go to your municipality or city, they will offer free counseling or free group therapy. So the next one is exercise. Exercise is so good for you. It helps with your health. It helps lower the cortisol, which is related to your hormones being heightened in fight or flight mode all the time because you've been through trauma, and it helps you lose weight. Now, when you've had trauma, you can, not in every situation, but you can tend to gain weight, and then that trauma weight is very hard to lose. But in my personal story, I had that problem and I nearly gave up and thought, oh, I'm never going to lose. And then I started being very active, and I have lost a lot of it. So I just want to encourage you, it is so good for your mental health and your physical health to exercise. The next one is grounding exercises. And grounding exercises is like walking barefoot in the grass. So good for you mentally and physically. Taking a cold shower or shaking yourself up like you're shaking up a jug of water or milk or something, and you go like this. It really helps. And swinging in a swing, it's like rocking, and it really is very effective. The next one is practicing self-care. This may be difficult for some of you because you've had to deny your own needs for a very long time and dote on this person who is a narcissist, or maybe you're a mom with kids too, and that is very difficult because you put yourself last. But I want to tell you something. It's important to put yourself first. And I know you can't all the time, but when you can, and take care of you. It's like they say in an airplane to put when you're going to crash, to put that mask for air on you first before you put it on your child or whoever it may be that you're looking after. You got to look out for yourself first. If you don't fill yourself up, you're going to be empty to fill up other people. So it's very important. And find what you enjoy and take time for yourself to do that. And I know some of you may have a hard time finding what you enjoy, but try to take note what gives you peace and makes you happy, and then do that. And I know for me, I take a half hour to an hour to myself every day. And on the weekend, I take 7 hours to myself. My friends and family know to not bother me during that time. And I take a day off of work every weekend. Yes, it does cost me. I earn less money, but I'm worth it. And I go on hikes. I love hiking. And there's a story behind that because I lost myself for 13 years due to narcissistic abusive relationships. And I rediscovered myself and know that I like to hike. And it has been so good for my health. And I do a lot of exercise to stay fit and trained for it because I like to do pretty advanced hikes. So that is something that is my self-care. And I get so much out of nature. It's so good for me emotionally. Does something for my soul. So that is a big thing for me. So the next is practicing relaxation methods. And that could be using a weighted blanket. That's like being swaddled. Or a lycra cloth. And I'm wearing mine. And you wrap it around yourself and it's like feeling like getting a hug. And I went through a time when I needed to get hugs. Well, I could do this instead of bothering people. And I wanted to have hugs from my former boyfriend. And I couldn't anymore. So I do this. And that's okay until you feel like you're fine without getting hugs anymore. You can do that, even if you're imagining it's your former boyfriend or former spouse or whatever it may be, or friend that was abusive to you. It's okay to do that. And I got the weighted blanket and the lycra cloth from a thrift store, so I didn't have to pay that much. It was pretty cheap for me. Also, playing calming music is really good for how calming yourself, like spa music. And I would like to sit on my patio and listen to my calming music and light a candle. It was so good for me. And I will say I also have 2 dogs and they're my therapy. They are just, they don't judge and they love you unconditionally, and it's amazing. They're a real therapy. And the last thing is what you've been waiting for, is stimulating the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is a cranial nerve, meaning coming from the brain, that goes the length of your body. And it's part of the parasympathetic nervous system. And it's for rest and repair and calming. It is the opposite of the sympathetic nervous system, which is heightened anxiety and stress. So you like to stimulate that nerve. And how you do that is rub along your neck here around your ear, and it will calm you down in a few minutes. Or you can tap on your forehead, and that helps. And also, like, you know how a child, when they get upset, throw their head back? Well, you can do that and sigh and think of something calming. And that really helps. So I have a little short story to tell you. A couple weeks ago, I was very triggered, very upset about something, and wanted to talk to my mom. And my mom was literally out of the country, and I couldn't get her. So I started stimulating my vagus nerve, and it worked within a minute or 2. So I wanted to share that with you. And also, I wanted to share here at the end that in the grounding, I have bought grounding mats off of Amazon. And they are like walking in the grass. They're very healthy for you. And I have one in my bed. I have one where I sit at my couch and one at my work. And it really helps with your calming down that nervous system. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. I hope that you've enjoyed it. And if you like it, please subscribe and let me know what your triggers are and how you've managed them. And if there's ideas that you have that I haven't mentioned, please let me know. And if you have any questions or comments or ideas for other videos, please tell me and like my video, and I will see you in the next video.